for consent from whether they're okay recording.
We're recording now, and no, I can not be sure. Okay,
Oh my
let me
God,
know.
I'm so shiny though.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, your face, Javier.
Hey, hi guys.
Oh, they're all muted. Shit. Okay. You want to say?
Okay. Hi everyone, thanks for joining us for this live with SGExams. We'll just wait for another 5 minutes for the rest of the participants to join us. But in any case, do use the chat function if you want to ask any questions or leave any comments. And maybe in 5 minutes time we can do a round of official introduction.
Yeah. Oh, now the time we can intro first.
Okay, yeah. So we collated some questions that you guys have asked SGExams over Instagram. But if you have yet to leave your questions with SGExams, do leave it in the chat right now and we can get to you really shortly in the Zoom live stream.
Okay, so yeah, to start things off, we're gonna intro each of us lah. Okay, so Vanessa, you wanna start first?
Yeah. Okay. Should we actually just wait for 5 more minutes for more people to join, and then we can just do one round of introduction.
Sure.
Yeah, and don't be shy. Switch on your webcam if you can. Say hi to YouTube.
Oh, there's the on the webcam. Nobody on the webcam.
You guys are all poly or GC?
Yeah.
Should we run polls? No, I can't.
Can we run polls?
Yeah, that'll be quite chill. Hey, let us know, okay, guys, so we can tailor a little bit to your expectations.
Wow, that guy's a nice name.
Oh, that's good. There's one person.
I only want to listen.
Yes. Okay, wait, I'm gonna share on my Instagram first.
Okay, Simran asked question. Cool, thanks. Hi. Question or not?
You can, yeah.
If you have more friends who might not know of this stream, you can send them the link and invite them for the stream as well.
How do you play music? Your own music, It's okay lah. Javier can play some lo-fi beats.
Okay, let me try.
It's a joke, but you can try. Sure.
No, I think you can try. You can do it.
I'm not gonna do it. Okay. Come on, let's start. Let's start soon.
Okay, 1 minute. You're fine. Okay, it's 8:05. If your friends are joining us a bit late, do send them the invite link. So if you can't find the link, let us know in the chat room and we can send you the link. If not, you can use the invite function to send the link to your friends, and you can just swing by in the middle of the live stream as well. So without further ado, let's do a round of self-introduction. So I'll start with myself. I'm Vanessa Ho and I'm from NUS. So I study business and communications and new media. I used to stay in hall, so if hall related questions, you can ask me as well. Okay, handing it over to Shaun.
Okay, I'm Shaun. I'm a year 3 SMU business student. I'm year 3 this year, but I'm currently majoring in financial and marketing analytics. So both of us are in entrepreneurship club. So if you need any questions about entrepreneurship or starting up culture or just school life culture in general, you can ask direct questions to me or her. Yeah. So moving on, Javier, and take.
Okay, hi guys. So my name is Javier. I'm from NTU, and I was NTU. Yeah, I was not currently. Okay. I used to do finance, again finance. So got some questions related there. I'll try to answer. Okay, and also I do a little bit of hosting as well as marketing. So if any questions, just let us know. All right. Okay, let's go with Matthew.
Okay, my name is Matthew. Currently a year 2 student in SUSS, majoring in accountancy. And on the side, I do a bit of programming as well. And right now I'm studying for my real estate license.
Okay, Mana. Are you muted? Yeah, you're muted. It's okay. Chill.
Also for the rest of you, if you want to switch on your
continue.
webcam, do.
Hey, Mana, you're unmuted.
Am I? Okay. Someone muted me just now. Okay, anyway, hi guys. So, hi, I'm Mana. Okay, that was very embarrassing. But I'm currently studying in SIM University. I'm currently taking a part-time degree in nursing. Yeah, so if you have any questions about SIM or nursing, you can ask me about it. So, and other than that, I dance and pretty much I dance. Okay, anyway.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're gonna start with some of the more non-generic
Generic
questions.
questions.
Yeah. So
I think that one of the highly requested ones that I received from both SGExams as well as my separate live stream that I did with NUS is how do you make friends in university, especially now without a physical orientation. Things are very different now with camps. So let's start with Matthew. Matthew has a lot of friends. That's why as people refer him to me to do this live stream. Matthew, can you share how do you actually meet people in uni, and what are some tips that you have now that there are no camps?
Okay, so making friends, I believe that making friends is just a very natural thing that and in uni without camps, I think it's gonna be a bit harder, but just stick with your tutorial group and your project groups, because I believe those will be the people that you kind of take away from uni, and you will brave through all the different projects together. And then you'll make more friends here and there when you have different project groups, and then just slowly you expand your circle, whether through CCA or whatsoever. So don't force it, lah. That's what I'm trying to say.
Mana?
Okay, actually for me, I just make just first of all, I think what we encourage people is just to take the first step of saying hi to people, and I think that that's a very nice gesture, and just be very friendly and open-minded. So it's maybe you can just talk to them about I don't really understand this, so can you help me and stuff. So just create little conversations, and I think that that's how you can start making friends. And yeah.
So you pretend to have problems so that you can ask people if they have solutions for you, right? Is it?
No.
Okay, understood. Okay, so how is your orientation different? Also, Javier, how do you suggest making friends in this climate right now?
One thing, the best things now is that there's a lot of online virtual camps. All right, so you should go and take this time, go and understand them, go and talk to them. So I was, apart from just a chat, I go and talk to them outside the camp, the chat itself. I'm going to understand them. Then after that, you guys never know, you guys might be in the same tutorial groups. So it's I would say just go and know more people. Right? If you guys talk more, some people will be very quiet, go and take the initiative, go and talk more. It's going to be fun. You're going to enjoy the virtual camp. So that's, I would say there's still a camp. All right, so how much you wanna get the most out of it. Yeah, so just to give a positive mindset, all right, guys?
Okay, so for me, right, what I would suggest, right, since now it's also all online, right, I think that it's easier for you to sign up for more camps right now, and they're also cheaper from what I know, because for my school, they also went online also. So if you sign up for more and you just try to make friends through, I think one really good resource is LinkedIn. So at the end of this Zoom call, we also can do a LinkedIn Connect, and I feel like LinkedIn is the next big thing. So if you want to connect with your friends after your Zoom online orientations, or even after this orientation, I think it's a very good way. Or also, right, approaching seniors. So something I would suggest is since we are all your seniors, so you can connect with us, and we also can link you up with more people. I feel like seniors are also the gateway to making more connections. And also, I think for my school personally, there's this thing called mentoring circle. So I personally found a mentor, and I think that has been really helpful for me. And like that expands your network to even wider than your school currently, because you have alumni that you can connect to, and that's also very beneficial for your next stage in life. Yeah.
Okay, the next burning question, right, will be how do you manage your time? And this is also in line with people who have side hustle out of school. So Javier, I believe last time when you were in NTU, right, you were hosting as well, right? So
Yeah,
how do you manage
that's really
that?
fun. I think most importantly, it's like one of the things. It's not this whole thing is the
Okay, Javier.
That was not very nice. You muted me. That was not very nice. Okay, well, kidding. So I was saying like, okay, so the times that you gotta separate your fun times and your study time. So for us, okay, Vanessa definitely also posting is like our fun time. Alright, so we're gonna
So sorry, guys. Javier will join
have a
us
lot of time for your
in a
friends.
bit.
Alright, but
Let's
at the
fix
same time,
his technical difficulties
yeah,
first.
still have time
Okay,
for
how about Matthew? I take over this for a while.
yeah, go ahead, time lah.
Right now you're doing
Um,
your SG exams, right? And
Yeah.
I believe that you have to do lessons as well as the paper itself. So how do you find time to do both studying plus real estate?
I think it's really making the most of your time lah. So, you know, a lot of people. Actually, I was just having a chat with my friend. Then he was telling me that there's a lot of incoming uni, like people who are joining uni, and they said they're always like looking to go out and drink at night. Not saying it's wrong lah. I also do that, but like, why is Mana laughing? I do that, but like you have to prioritize. Sometimes if you have other stuff that you have to focus on, then have your priorities right lah. Because everyone has like the same 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. So it's just how much you can use of that productively.
So I believe that's like balancing when it's time to have fun and when it's time to like really get serious and get productive, right? And
Don't
even
ostracize your friends lah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for myself, right, the most important thing is not to be FOMO for everything. Because like especially when I was in the hall and then there are a lot of like night activities and hall events, it gets very, very distracting, especially when different groups of friends come by your room and invite you to hang out or go for suppers or drinks, and then you find yourself lacking time to study and also lacking time to do whatever side hustle you want to do, whether it's a startup or some business, insurance, real estate, any of that sort. So know when to say no, and then when you actually do, right, and you see like Insta stories of your friends having fun, right, just know that like the future you will be grateful that you actually use your time more effectively.
Okay, so one pressing thing that I can say, right, is that I think a lot of our schools have this like drinking culture. Like a lot of it, like when you go to university, there's this culture. But especially for the first sem, right, I would think that most of y'all should actually just focus on your studies, because you don't know, like some of us jump into hall, you jump into the whole uni hype, and then you just get all caught up in like the whole socializing and networking thing. But for your first sem specifically, it's a very good time to just test water and make sure that you get your studies in check first. So that's what I'll suggest. Like you can leave the networking to a later stage. You can always join CCAs after that. There's multitudes of ways to make friends and network later on.
Yeah, I have actually one good question that I think it's open for all, but I want to ask Mana first, right? So how many days of school do you have in a single week?
Actually, I have 5 days. So my
5
classes,
days?
yeah. So actually, my classes are at night because I'm taking a part-time degree.
I see. Then what do you
But
do?
there are some days I don't have school, so it's like I can relax, you know. Yeah, and then most of sorry, yeah.
So the question is, what do you do when you don't have school?
Actually, when I don't have school, I dance. Like I dance with my friends. That's pretty much what I do.
Yeah, and I believe you started your YouTube channel as well, right? With you, which is a beauty channel, I believe.
Yes, that's right. And other than that, I also do TikTok videos as well. Yeah.
You're one of those. Okay.
Shaun also.
Javier, back then I believe in NTU, right? You don't have school 5 days a week, right?
Yeah,
so on off days, what do you do?
I do love hosting also. It's always packed. I think you guys also. So I always try to find time to make it packed. I'm gonna try to find time to maximize the things. So if it's not hosting, if it's not studying, I'm going to take the time to go and learn more, or go and network with people. Cause I think year one, right? Year one, yeah, very important. Okay, year one, just don't play too much. All right, so in year 2, I really whack all the connections to try to go for more events and go and try to go for more networking events also. So it's just basically try to maximize the time that you have and don't let it go to waste. Because university is a time for you to go and go out. You're going to get ready for the workforce. So it's not for you to go and play lah. So there's a different motivations. So just need to know
Do you
yours.
think this will scare all the incoming freshies away?
Hey,
I think
it's
uni supposed to be
important.
like
It's
fun and
important.
all that, right?
Yeah, true lah. True also. So just go and manage
Okay.
both, okay? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to the more specific questions that are a bit more technical. So we got a question from a friend on Instagram on how module registration is done for the first year and subsequent years, and also how many modules do we need to clear in a year. So the question was pertaining NUS, and I can answer that. So a typical like semester, right, you do around like 5 modules, but sometimes if you find that this semester you don't have much things out of school to do, you can choose to overload. That means you're taking like 6 or 7 modules, and in some semester like if you plan to do other things on the side, you can choose to underload, which means less than 5 modules. And bidding system, it comes with a calendar that you usually receive a few weeks before your bidding period, and that's when you can choose to bid. Different schools have different systems. Some of them is like first come first serve kind, or like by point system. That's the most common. And then that's when you have to really strategically think of how important is this module for you, and that's when you allocate more points to bid for that. And then there will be different rounds of bidding. So even if you don't get it on your first try, you can still choose to appeal on subsequent rounds of bidding. But I know this is very intimidating because in my first year, I don't understand how it worked. And I had to ask seniors on the nitty-gritty details on how to bid and how to ensure that I have an advantage in getting the particular time slot. So you have both bidding for your modules and also bidding for your tutorial time slots.
Yeah, I think SMU is similar as credit system, and you actually just have to bid. I think the main thing that you can take away from this is ask your seniors and look into the business handbooks or your whatever school handbooks, because more or less is what she said, and you just ask your seniors, honestly. That's the best way to get it done.
Yeah, okay, we got a question in the chat room from Simran Saka. Thanks for being like super early bird. So you're asking on joining NUS Biz this year, and you applied for CNM, which is Communications and New Media, which is under the Faculty of Arts and Science. So could you give some tips on how I can prepare for NUS Business, and how intense is the double degree program? How you can prepare for NUS Biz? Okay, what I do, right, is that you can prepare all your materials, like example textbooks and notes and all that. Start asking seniors that you know, or even ourselves. Like if you you can even ask me if you want some NUS notes, and get all your textbook ready. And if you feel that like in your JC or poly, if you lack a certain base knowledge that other people might have, like example for me, I like econs knowledge because I took geography last time. Now's a great time to start reading up about it. Or if you feel that like some of the core modules that you cannot avoid, like finance and all that, you can start reading up about it as well. Double degree program, to me, it's not very intense because it's actually a 4.5 or 5 years program. And every semester you have to maybe overload just one module on top of everybody else, or you don't even have to at all. And I encourage those of you right now, right, who actually have a single degree program, you can feel free to explore adding one more degree or major halfway through your course. And then if you feel like it's not right for you, you can always drop at the end of the day. No big losses, just do the planning right. Yeah. Okay, so within this group, right, Matthew, Javier, Mana, anybody taking like a second minor or like second major?
Javier graduated.
Yeah.
You're taking double specialization, right?
Yeah.
How does double specialization work?
Okay, so for me, right, I think that like you don't have to hardcore like decide what you want in the first year, because you can take your foundation mods first in most universities. So later on you can explore your electives, because you can even take like French, Thai, you can take anything you want, and like you can decide on your specialization after your first year, after you consult with your friends. Because like for me, I explore a lot of things. I tried to do Python, I tried to do like a lot of things before I even decided that I wanted to do analytics. So because that's something that made sense to me, so I stepped into that later on. But I think in that regard, your bidding, how you should do it is ask your seniors and just bid for those that you really need first. And I think a double major or a double degree is also not as intimidating as most people make it sound, because it's just adding on a little bit more. If you structure it properly and you plan your mods properly, it's not that much crazier of a workload from what I understand. So yeah. Anyway, JV, got anything? Matthew?
Nope, not for me.
Nope.
Okay, the next question I have, right, is for Matthew. So someone on Instagram asked, is accountancy hard, and which part of accountancy interests you?
Is accountancy hard? I guess I cannot really answer that fully yet. I'm still in year 2, but so far it's okay lah. My biggest tips for people who are taking accountancy is because the workload is quite exponential. It gets quite hard in the later few modules. So the main thing that I do is I understand rather than memorize, because accounting, there are ways. I do have friends that they try and memorize like all the stuff, but if you actually understand what each, like for example the double entries or how you're supposed to do each step in accounting, it's a lot easier to understand. It's not that hard lah. Which part interests me? So I'm a 100% numbers person lah. So I've always been good at math. So that's why, actually, a fun fact is that I didn't want to do accounting, but my mom kept asking me to do it because she knows I'm good at math. So I was like, yeah, okay lah.
So
And then
side
turns
question,
out-
what about
Yeah.
the people saying accountancy is going to become obsolete if there's like tech with tech?
If accounting becomes obsolete, then there has to be people that transition that mah.
Mm.
So if accounting goes out of, like, everything, then I just have to make sure that I can be the person that can help to transition also lah.
Cool.
Which is why
That's
I'm
very
also
cool.
trying some side stuff in programming.
Wow, this is a very, very good answer. Okay, the next question, right, is something that I think is very relevant to any single incoming freshie, no matter what your ambition would be in the future, is how do you take this time in university, be it 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, to beef up your portfolio for employability's sake? So since Javier, you graduated already, I think you'd be the best person to start off this question. Come.
Employable.
I think it's okay. So when I left, I had a few job offers lah. Okay, there's a few. There's one for NTUC. There's one from doing policies. There's one from a private company, something like Grab. So there's a lot of very cool stuff, and a lot of way how do I meet them is actually through my uni days. So one of the things I did uni days, right, is I was saying networking. So you just go and have fun, go and meet people. Sometimes like we do hosting, so you just go and talk to people more. Then after they come and talk to you, say, hey, you're graduating. Yeah, that actually, okay, so fun fact, actually Ng Chee-Ming, he offered me a job at NTUC. So it was really, really cool. Ng Chee-Ming.
Also, the minister approached you. Wow.
Yeah, it was so cool. Man. It's not directly lah, but he knew I was graduating. Asked some stuff.
Was
So
that
it's like
or flex?
yeah.
Not very sure.
Sorry, no,
Is that a
it's
fun
not.
fact, or what?
It's just like so cool. Like just having fun in your university and things come along the way. So and the next thing is to do is to take more internships, because the better your internships are, the better your portfolio is, more people want to hire you. Yeah, so go and do these things. Okay, just know that every single break is not really a break. It's for you. Sorry to say that it's just trying to every single break is a time for you to go and do.
Okay, sorry, we have some technical difficulties. Once again, Matthew, can you go and drop him a text, say that his mic has some issues? Okay, May.
Okay,
Okay, moving on to carry on from my side, right? I think that a very important step for building up your portfolio is also like networking, going for all these events and stuff, right? Because like as you come to your year 3, year 4, right, what's very important, right, is actually just people take internships to land that one internship. So actually you just keep trying to network and getting in contact with future employers so that you're actually able to land that job. So like what you said, actually networking is a very key thing. Above like getting your GPA, your CAP first is like your first step. It's like there's a resume board that clears like everyone below like 3 lah or whatever 4, like. But the next step, right, to really put yourself on the top of that paper list, right, is to make sure you have the right networks to get you there. So yeah, that's one thing I can say.
we got quite a couple of questions regarding internships, and a couple of tips include, okay, if you're going for the more finance route, like banking sector, right, application window for banking internships open as early as 1 year before the holiday where you want to work at. So there's no too early to prepare for an internship, and always have a very ready cover letter and a resume. So make sure that it's always constantly updated so that you have the best resume to send to your employers, and also customize each resume to send to different sort of internships. And another tip is maybe when you are in year 2 or year 3 and you have a better idea of where you want to be after you graduate. Like example, if you want to be in the e-commerce sector, then your internships, right, should lead up to this big goal. Instead of trying internships from all over that maybe doesn't contribute to your final goal, once you got the final goal set, right, your internship should be in line with that particular like industry. Javier, is your mic fine? Do you want to add on to what you said just now?
You just close off what you want to say. Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
No, I'm just saying, just going to do more internships. Okay, so every break, right, is not really a break because it's a time for you to go into internships. So like, at 3 years, right, and my first year I didn't do, so that's the next 2 years I really went. Yeah, so that was
that's
like,
true. I think every year you can take, right?
Yeah, I didn't take it my year one as well, but this summer I did.
It's like you can take small ones also. You don't have to take like the whole, like, people have this misconception you must take like 3 months long. You can take 2 weeks. All these small ones can lead up to your big one that you land in year 3 or year 4.
Yeah,
So really a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think 10 weeks at least would be the most recommended. So Simran asked, when's a good time to take on internships, and how often should you during uni, and how do you find good internships? Well, this is quite a generic question. Matthew, do you want to start answering this question first, and maybe share what internship experience you have?
Okay, when is a good time? I think every time is as per what both Javier and Shaun said. Every time is a good time. Just go for it. And actually, how often is really just every break go for it. Go take an internship. For me personally, during my first semester, because I felt like anyway school is usually the first 2 semesters. The first year is quite the modules are quite basic. So I decided, why don't I just try to take an internship while I'm schooling lah. So my school was three or 4 days a week. Each day is only 3 hours. So I just took it's a part-time, full-time. So it's very flexible lah. On days that I had school, I took half days. Other than that, I did full-time lah. And it was quite hard, I have to say. But these are the little things that help to beefen up your resume, like some of the questions before. And when your resume has a lot of content and you have diversified, it also helps you to kind of know which direction you want to go, because only when you try then you know whether you like. Then so like what Shaun has been saying, you just try a lot of stuff and then slowly you'll fine tune what is your interest, and then you slowly try more in that field, and then you'll find which direction you want to go to post university. So I just say just try as much as you can.
Okay, Romana, do you take on internships as well?
For me, I don't have internship.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
We have one question that came from Instagram as well that's also related to internship, right? That person asked, how many internships do people to do on an average, and what are the chances of securing a full-time job after the internship? So that means it's a conversion. So from an intern, like the employers convert you to a full-time. So Javier, what are your take on this?
You have the best take on this.
I think do at least like minimally 2.
3.
Like, that's the least. Yeah, but I think the more you can do better. Then I have friends that are 3 years program, because mine is 3 years only, they do 6. So when they did 6, they literally have a lot of companies offering them.
Yeah, I think so.
Like Apple, Google, so it's damn cool. Yeah, so the more you do, the better it is. Yeah, and go for case competitions, amazing. Amazing entry, especially to get the first place.
It's a very good way to get into that company also. Like a lot of my friends that got from K-Com comps, they get. Yeah,
so an example is like one of my hallmates, right? She applied for a L'Oreal Brainstorm, which is this case competition organized by L'Oreal, and out of I think there were 50 applicants for just 3 spots of internships, right? And she was one of them who got it, but because she has the leverage of having a background in the L'Oreal Brainstorm case competition.
Yeah, it really helps.
So it gives you a head start. Yep.
Okay, let's move on to something more light-hearted. Maybe what's a normal school day like for all of us? Like maybe Mana, you can start it off with like, what's a normal school day like for you?
Normal school day for me, I think for me it's just like, since my classes are always at night, so it's just that I'm starting my day usually at like 6 p.m. So it's like usually you just attend lectures and tutorials, and basically that's how I start my day.
I think it's very different from like JC or poly. Like your structured timetable is so different now. Because that's one thing I wanted to mention about bidding that someone asked. I think Jung, like I think like how you bid is also very important with how your day is like. Because if your day starts later, if you're a night owl, right, then just go for night classes. Because I cannot do AM classes. Like I just cannot physically get myself there. So like that's a problem for me. And even if I get myself there, I need like a shit ton of coffee to even be functional. So I think that like uni life is actually very vibrant. I think that join TCS also. That's the next thing that we can talk about. But yeah, maybe Javier, you want to talk more about your normal school day?
Normal school days. Yeah, just lessons or then after
cool,
lessons. Wait, is my mic working? It's working, right? Okay. If it's not working, let me know. Okay. So my normal school day is I don't know. I took banking and finance lah, but I like marketing lah. So every time I try to get marketing mods. But anyway, past that lah, I'll go and ask the teacher more stuff lah. So I'll still keep in contact with teacher. So if I'll try to ask more questions. That's one thing. Then outside of that, I'll go for gyms. Shaun also goes for gym very often. And then after that, just hosting and stuff lah. I just basically try to keep stuff back. Yeah.
How about you, Matthew?
So for school days, I actually wanted to say something like what Shaun said is, when you bid, you just try to put your modules together. If you leave like 6-hour gaps, it really is tough.
That's the worst.
So I really try to keep my modules, like for example, if I have back to back on the same day, I keep maybe one 8:30 to 11:30, the next one 12 to 3. So that way I get my day done by 3 o'clock and then I can do the rest of my things lah. And basically I go to school, I just go for classes, I have my meals if they're in between. Sometimes I study in school, but sometimes I feel that maybe personally it's not the best idea to stay in school for too long, other than for CCAs lah. Because when you stay in school for too long, you get very distracted. Go to the places that like you can maybe focus better, then you can do your homework or study for the next lesson. It's very important. Like in SUSS, we don't have lectures, only tutorials. So what I try to do is I try to read at least what the next seminar slides are before I go for lessons. So when I go there, I don't actually try and read while I understand. I just go there, I read already, and I just try to understand. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
I think I have one question from Jung about bidding for SMU specifically. So I'll just touch on that very briefly. I think that in the current state, like we're doing online, so you need to be more concerned with like, for SMU it used to be lectures only, but now we're also doing tutorials because of the current state. They're doing small group classes. So yeah, so on this question, right, like what mods should we bid for as a first year student, right? I think you should bid for your core mods first, because like I said, you want to understand true culture first before you deep dive into which majors you want to do. So if you go straight into like analytics in your first year, which you shouldn't do it, because like you have no idea what is higher level analytics or accountancy when you are like, you should just take the basic ones that you should be taking lah. So which mods are difficult or easier to take? I think this depends on your propensity or your own, like how good are you at it lah. So like I was very good at writing, so any marketing mods or like writing mods I happen to be good at. So like I think Javier also has the same thing, like he's better at marketing than finance. Both of us took finance, but I think we score better in marketing because it's just like make a brand video, make a concept for a client, that kind of stuff. It's something we do in our own work. So I feel like that was easier for us. But if you can take the easier ones first, but eventually you still have to clear the harder ones. So what I'll suggest is take the easier ones first, honestly, for your first few years. So other factors to consider for bidding on mods, I think this is relevant to almost all schools. Timing of classes and your personal interest. Like what Matthew said, don't break up your timings to like morning and night classes. Try to put them together. And for me, I work in a good schedule of 3 school days a week. So I had like two each time, and then that was something that worked well for me. Some people do well in like 5 days, and then each time is a 2-hour class, which is fine, but I don't like to go school that much lah. And personal interest, I think that if you prefer marketing or your strong suit is, if you like math, then go for accountancy, like what Matthew does. Because I think even in business, right, you have to touch base with a lot of things. You have writing, you have accountancy, you have finance. So choose the one that works well for you in the beginning, and do your core mods. Yeah. So yeah, that's my part on it.
We have another specific question that came in the chat room by Rama. Just a reminder to anyone who just joined the live stream, if you have any questions that you haven't left with us on Instagram to SGExams, you can still leave that in the chat room over here. So this question from Rama is for Matthew. So how many exemptions do poly students have for entering SUSS accountancy?
Very unfortunately, none. So I have to do the full 4 years. Yeah. Well, what to do? Yeah.
Okay, that's I think for NUS, if you're a poly student, right, in engineering, you can exempt yourself for occasionally 6 months to 1 year. So that means you skip one or 2 semesters. For other faculties, less so, I believe. Yeah. Okay, Rama also asked, right? After graduating, how are the chances of doing postgraduate in overseas uni? So I don't think any of us have postgraduate right here. Javier, do you have any tips, or is it something that you are planning to do postgraduate?
No, I'm not going to, but my friends did. So this is what they did. Okay, so after postgraduate, I'll still masters or PhD. Okay, so for masters, right, you have to see the university that's taking you in. They don't take everyone in, so it depends on your results as well as the internships you do and your experience generally. So if your GPA is not too good, for example, but you do very good things outside, you do a lot of you have a good portfolio, or maybe you have really start working, you come back for your masters. All right, then they'll accept you on a case by case basis lah. Okay, so don't be too caught up with that. Okay, just go and do well, have fun in uni lah. Yeah.
Does being friends with ministers help?
Hey, continue.
just checking. Okay.
Okay, let's move on to another question specific to NUS. This one's from me. Someone asked, how and where does NOC and SCP, NOC is NUS Overseas College, which is half internship and half clearing 1 or 2 modules, and it's largely revolving around entrepreneurship, and SCP is student exchange program, fit into 4 years of university. So most people will go for these overseas programs. So you're both your exchange and NOC in year 3 of university. It could be year 3, SEM 1 or 2. And once in a while, some people would choose to do NOC in year 4 as well. So these programs are around 6 months to 1 year. So during the NOC and SCP, right, you don't actually delay graduation because you still get your modular credits needed to graduate while you are doing all these programs. So I believe for NUS, right, for those incoming freshies going to NUS, there's a student life festival happening, I think August 10th to 14th, and it's 5 days of like events where you can ask questions, where different officers and departments are answering questions about exchange programs, different CCAs, clubs and societies, and different faculties. I'm gonna be hosting that as well. So if you other like specific questions, do look at a program that Student Life Festival by NUS Student Union has to offer.
Okay, just to have an idea, like we're not sure of this lingo, right? NOC and SCP just means exchange programs lah. And like in SMU, we also have something similar, but I think with the current climate, you can't really go exchange. And like for those year 3 or 4, you don't expect to go exchange because I think 2020 there's no travel lah. But basically, what was previously required is that we all had to do a form of exchange. So you could do like a 1 month, you can do a 1 month study, or you can do like CIP. You can do a full 6 months exchange, or you can even do overseas comms. So,
which is specific to SMU,
yeah.
right? Yeah, that's
so
specific to SMU.
they just want you to have some overseas experience. But I think what's happening in the next 2 years or those in year 3 or 4 now, I don't think that requirement is going to be a thing anymore. Yeah, so
hopefully for all you freshies over here, in a couple of years when you're year 3, I think travel will be an option again. So yay. So okay, for Matthew and Mana, do you guys plan to go for any overseas exchange programs, and how are you preparing for that?
Should I go first?
Yeah, go first.
Okay, so I actually went for one already. So in SUSS, we have to go for an overseas exchange at least once. But what they do is they cater one that is so-called compulsory. Is this thing called the Experiential Team Building, ETB lah. So we'll go to China for about, I think it's 10 days. Yeah, it's about 10 days. And then we go there, we have some games, but we also have some modules that we are clearing lah. And I believe it's a lot of fun. And so once that was done, we can use that for our so-called overseas experience lah, for our uni. Yeah, I feel that was really good lah. So just go for that SUSS, guys.
compulsory anyway.
It's compulsory, but there's one that is local, so
I see.
don't
Okay,
go for that.
Mana, you want to touch on anything there?
Okay, so my turn, right? So actually, unfortunately, right, we don't have like, for my course, we don't really have like exchange programs, so it's quite sad. But one thing good about it is just that I know that after when graduation, right, we can like, because my university is University of Sydney, so we actually can travel there to graduate. So that is like the best I can get for exchange program, sadly.
Cool. Yeah, and we got one more question on Instagram that's also very relevant to this topic is, what are some hacks in securing an overseas internship? So overseas internship is a bit different because you don't have real life interviews, right? You might have case studies to do, maybe assessment centers online, and maybe Zoom interviews. So that one really depends on your resume and your past experiences. plus your interview techniques. Any of you have any tips on how to secure a good overseas internship? Has anyone done one?
Negative.
I
It should be
personally
helpful, it should be
haven't.
helpful.
So yeah.
But I didn't
do
go. I
have
didn't go.
friends. Yeah, so I do have a couple of friends who did
Yeah.
the NOC program, and how to secure internships overseas is to have very strong internship portfolio in Singapore first. So do your local ones first, and then in your senior years, then when you apply for your overseas internship programs, then you have a stronger leverage. And also, Simran asked, how competitive is it to get into NUS Overseas College, right? It's not very competitive, because right now there are quite a lot of vacancies. There's even a Singapore program. So basically you can choose 3 different companies that you can interview for, and if all of them pick you, right, you can choose which one you want to go to. And also different countries have different availability. I know the harder ones to get into Silicon Valley, where a lot of computing students and engineering students go for. Very, very, very competitive over there, because they are like the big tech startups. New York as well, also a bit more competitive, but there are other places that are higher, lesser in demand, which are like Stockholm, Israel, Jakarta, Ho Chi Minh, Beijing, Shanghai, and some Guangzhou, and a lot more.
Let me touch on it. Okay, so we'll touch on this question that Barbara asked about how important are CCAs for portfolios, or are internships more important, so specifically for securing employment. So on my experience, right, I think that CCAs depend which ones, because I think like in NUS and SMU there's investment societies, and if you want to go to the banking sector for business, that's the obvious choice there. And I would personally think that internships are more important regardless, but CCAs do really add some value if you choose the right ones. But if you're not sure to choose the right ones, just join a CCA every semester. There's a lot of like chill CCAs. I think most schools have like a thing called mentorship circles or Toastmasters, where you just network people. That's something that I like to do during my first year. So I think that like making friends is fine also in your first year. You don't have to stress yourself with that. But if you really want to, like, from the start, I'm going to be a banker, you want to go that route, such an investment society, because you need to join that earlier on. Yeah. Any of you have any input on that? Matthew, Javier, about CCAs versus internships.
Yeah, definitely internships. Internships.
Yeah, I am not really a heavy advocate for CCAs, so I would definitely say internships.
I think join a CCA with an intention. Yeah, like if CCA is very value adding to whatever you plan to do, right? Or it's something that you're very interested in. Like I believe, like Mana, are you in your dance club in?
Yeah, I'm in the dance CCA.
Tell us about your CCA experience.
Actually, my CCA experience. So basically, we'll just like dance every once per week. Then honestly, I feel that right, CCA is a good value like added in like university, because for example, if you're like com members, right, I think you can add it into your portfolio, So for example, if you're like president of the dance club, and then I think it would really enhance like your value of like your portfolio. So that's what I can share.
Employers don't only see like tangible things sometimes. They also want to see that you have like soft skills. So I think like my only suggestion is like if you can, right, do both. Like if you have the capacity for it, just do both.
Yeah, and also try to gun for leadership positions, because like writing member in a club versus president or vice president or treasurer in a club it's quite a big difference, and it makes you really much more employable. For myself, I'm in NUS Entrepreneurship Society, and you are in SMU Eagles, which is the equivalent but just $2 million richer. So we joined that largely to network with mentors and alumni, and also other like-minded people, and also organize events and also attend webinars that really, really help us in our pursuit in entrepreneurship. So that's with really an objective in mind to use this CCA to make our experience in uni more holistic.
Okay, so we're going to move on to some of the other questions that people have asked, because I know there's a lot of live stream questions, but I think we have some that we touch on this. What are some interesting annual events or festivals among each of our different universities? So each of us can just talk a bit about it. Maybe Matthew can start first.
Very unfortunately, SUSS only has the ETB, which is the one you go to China once in 4 years. It's not an annual thing. It was fun, but it's a once in a lifetime thing.
So what about the school culture?
wow, school culture is really you just go to school. I mean, a lot of people they like to hang out with their friends.
Is he advocating
A
the
lot of
school?
Stop.
The school is like, okay, like it's really, they have the saying, not sure if you all know, Singapore University of Self-Study. I hope there's no SUSS teachers here. If there are, right, I don't mean to offend you. And if I'm your future student, right, I'll be a very good student either way. But really, in our school, it's really just self-study.
So you
So
must be
just
doing
find-
better during COVID lah, since it's a self-study period also, right?
I actually did very well during COVID, yeah. No, but the culture is really just study by yourself. Find a group of friends and you all study together lah. And actually, there's this modules called it's like the electives that SCOs they call it. So it's the social sciences part of like our university. What makes it different lah? So actually, a lot of the modules are like, for example, in year 1 you will take 4 modules. Then in year 2 you will take another, let's say 4 modules. But if your friends in year 1 they took let's say the Bravo 4 modules, then you took the Alpha, the next year you will swap. So it's always good to like exchange notes. So just have a couple of friends that are in your class, and then if they're doing different SEOs, just like what everyone said, make friends and try to get resources from everyone. You will do better definitely. Yeah.
Okay, so Shaun, what are your SMU events?
So to cut things off a bit, right? I'm like, so if you have any like, pressing, urgent questions specific to uni, right, you can just message us privately. We'll answer it later. But for now, I'm trying to keep with the flow of this lah. So okay, so on my part, events, right? Like, I honestly think SMU school culture quite fun. Like I advocate it as in like I chose it because I think it's like fun lah compared to NTU or NUS. No offense lah, but I just found it like we have a lot of events and it's a very like CBD culture. It's just you go and like, so we have this thing called SMU Starry Night, which is you all sit there and watch a show. We have Patrons Day. It's like every year we get together and have games. So like I feel like there's a lot of town area. There's a lot of drinking culture, and actually our Starry Night got banned once because it's like you all sit by the grass patch and you all just drink lah. Like hopefully there's no profs here but we just drank lah. So a lot of it was just that, and we even have annual runs and stuff. So even the camps are fun lah. So I think that SMU culture is actually quite fun in that regard. And there's always events. Honestly, like almost every semester there'll be one event.
I believe that even though there won't be many events this year, you can look forward to them throughout the entire 4 to 5 years of your education. How about Javier? What are some of the key events that you really enjoy in NTU?
Yeah, you host them, right?
I think it's frozen.
No.
Okay, let me just carry on with some of the NUS events that I really enjoyed. I was in year 1, I was in Gem Home, which is like the pageant, and I believe Shaun was in the pageant as well. That one's fun, not just to be part of, but also to watch in other years. It's just like a huge, nice show where people entertain each other, and it's just really, really funny. We also have like dinner and dance events where like people dress up in groups. I think if you're interested, right, do go for do sign up for campus living, because there are even more events if you're staying on campus. So we have dinner and dance and a lot more activities and like concerts and stuff like that within hall. So yeah, other stuff are some of the festivals and carnivals that NUS hosts, which will be conducted at like U Town, which is this big green space, and Red and Flag as well, where people do
stadium, right?
yeah, so it's like it's a charity performance thing. Yeah. How about Javier? Are you okay?
You okay?
Okay, Javier, so what are the key events in NT that you really enjoyed?
He's muted.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi guys. Okay, good things was waited for. Okay, that's why I'm back. Okay, so some of the good things in NTU, there's like NTU Fest. So NTU Fest every year is like one of the biggest events in NTU. It's damn cool. So one of the years they invited NOC, the Ryan Sylvia, the gang lah, and Dikosh, and Sam Williams while they were still around lah. So it's damn cool. It's like damn cool. That's one of the things. We still have every MAE day, for example, MBS day. So every college, right, there's a day for you, and all the schools just pump in a lot of money. You can get all your free stuff, and every welfare, there's exam welfare pack every single exam lah. So just go and take, okay. There's so many good things. So there's a lot of events. Like this goes on and on. So as long as you want free stuff, just look out for all the free events. There's even an NTU free food chat. Just go and join everything lah. Okay, you won't go wrong one.
Okay. I think SMU and NUS also have free food chat just to promote our schools. we also got free food chat. We also got events where like the big YouTube stars will come down. I feel like in general, most schools have a very have quite a vibrant school culture lah. Anyway, so yeah, that shouldn't be you can just make the decision. I don't think you join a school for school. Okay, maybe you do lah. But anyway, Mana, do you have anything to add on to that?
Mine same as Matthew. Sorry, but
Our neighbors, that's why.
no, yeah, we're neighbors. So it's like it's not as like happening
neighbors.
as like other universities, but yeah.
We do have
You
free
know.
food though. Yeah.
Yeah, most schools got
Food, just
free
come down.
food chat. So just go and ask your seniors for the free food chat. I think every school has one.
Yes, okay, the next question, right, is a very sensitive question for even myself. How does one make the most out of university life while maintaining a healthy CAP? So CAP is essentially your grades. In
GPA.
SMU, it's called GPA. So okay, let's start with Javier because you're postgrad. You graduated already.
Healthy CAP.
So do you want to tell people what CAP you graduated with?
You know, PNC is kind of.
Okay, almost second alpha. Super close. Okay, I got to do the wrong specialization. Okay, but anyway, in year one, very well. Okay, so year one, I had very good friends, all very smart. So they studied together. Then he taught me a lot of things. So I would say if you have a friends that are smart and they are really helpful, studying with them would be amazing. Because on one side, you might think that you are actually you might be a kind of a burden to them, but they actually learn a lot by teaching you also. It's like
That's your value.
yeah, so don't be
learn by
kind, okay?
teaching.
Learn by teaching. Serious. Then you can be able to teach how you secure yourself already. Then other thing, how to balance, just make sure you have enough time. Make sure you go and complete your mods properly. Okay, for example, you have a very tough mod, go and clear it overseas, don't go and take in Singapore. Okay, so that's if you can clear local exchange also, just go ahead. Yeah, just try. And if you have chance to go and SU or certain mods, the tougher ones, go and use them. Use them wisely. Yeah, so these are some tricks you want to take note of.
Yeah, I think what my seniors would tell me is that when you're in year 1, year 2, right, and you're doing the easier mod, it's the best time for you to maximize your CAP, because once it's like low, right, it's very hard to improve it already. So start off strong. So for all of you right there, all of you guys starting year 1, right, do your best. Like as much as you have a lot of SUs and as much as there will be some like stay home lectures and all that, just do your best to maximize it, because it really gets harder and harder as you go into year 3 and year 4. Mana, do you have any advice on how to balance both uni life plus a healthy CAP?
I think for me, it's just that make sure that you study hard, and then if you don't know anything, ask your teacher. Like ask them, just keep pestering them. Like legit, just keep asking them questions. Like wherever you're not clear, or you can just ask your friends. For me, right, actually, what I did was I asked my senior, and my senior really helped me a lot, like a lot. So it's just that I feel that seniors are there to just help you. So just don't be afraid to ask questions. Yeah. So,
Okay, how about you, Matthew?
For it's the same thing lah. I just finished year 1, so I just felt that in at least my first year, I want to do super well so that in the future years, because the mods get harder, then it will be harder to get a good grade. So of course I tried my best, and like what Javier said, I kind of surrounded myself with this. So I changed my project group about twice. There was always this guy that I stuck with because we are super bro . But I changed the group a few times so that I can find a group that we can both like value add to each other. So I help them in certain aspects, and then they help me in certain aspects. That way, we kind of are just very happy as a group, and then we study for exams together. So this is just the best way to get a good GPA, I would say. Yeah.
Shaun, do you have any studies? Yeah, okay, go on, Jay.
Just add a very short thing, okay? GPA is not everything, okay? If you got a good internship, you got good things outside, you can still earn good money, okay? So don't be so caught up with the numbers. Yeah, okay, Shaun, take it away.
I think the good grade, right, gets you your first few interviews, but to get the job, right, it's how you perform at the interview and the rest of your resume.
The grade is just to pass your resume board. Okay, so on my take, right, like how I think is just the SU thing is something I want to touch base on. It's not, most schools do have, okay, only I think NUS and NTU have SUs, like they really give it from the beginning. SMU only started this SU thing because of COVID, where like things like they chill things down so you can. So SU basically pass fail, and as long as you pass, your GPA will be frozen. And people leave this for exchange to do SUs for their elective mods. For your core mods for SMU, you cannot do SU. I think from what I understand, and NTU you have SUs for most things, but in SMU your core mods, your basic accountant, your basic finance, all this you cannot take SUs for. But don't rely on them. That's one thing I'll say. Like you never I think in any case, right, just study hard. And one really good thing that I think that a lot of them touched on is about seniors, because I think there's SMU, there's Ask SMU. I'm sure NUS also got Ask NUS. You literally just go and don't be shy to approach seniors. Like I know some of them might charge you, they Carousel, they pay for notes and stuff, but in general, right, if you are not sure, just go for like Toastmasters, go and talk to your mentors, ask them to reach out for help for notes and stuff. So that's how you really get a good GPA, I would feel. Yeah.
Okay. I believe that there are plenty more study tips, and a couple of you guys actually asked where can you guys find notes to get a bit of a head start in readings before school start. And I believe SGExams have a lot of resources for all this. Caslin, would you like to share what SGExams have to offer for notes?
Yeah, they actually pull the notes together. So if you really want notes for each uni, they have access to that. I'm not sure but from what I understand, if you really want to reach out for notes, most of the student forums have it, and like those Telegram groups have it. And yeah, just try like us. I think notes are like seniors notes are actually extremely helpful in like most cases for me, cause yeah.
Yeah, okay, so before we're going to wrap things up because we are 4 minutes away from 9 p.m. where we'll close the stream. We do have quite a few questions that are unanswered, but don't worry, so you can leave all these questions with SGExams. I think the best way to do it is via Instagram, SGExams, as well as Reddit, and we'll get back to you privately with all your questions. So I'm just going to answer one more question that Simon asked in the chat before we move on to one more question for everybody else. And his question is, how do you bid for unrestricted electives in year 1 in NUS? Well, unrestricted electives are quite easy to bid for because they are not very competitive and there are just so many. I would encourage you to keep unrestricted electives till when you're in senior years because you can easily use them for NOC or your student exchange programs or other things that you are interested about. And I highly encourage you to take unrestricted elective modules in a separate faculty. So if you're in a business student, don't take like business related stuff. Do something that you're interested in, say maybe in science or engineering and all that. So your whole like study experience will be very holistic and there'll be a very interesting experience for you as well. So no rush to get into your UEs right now. Okay, so before we wrap things up, right, so maybe each of us can share one tip that you have for the incoming freshies here today. So Mana, would you like to start first?
One tip. Can be anything, is it?
Anything, yeah.
Like, okay, I feel that one tip for university students like freshies, just don't be afraid to ask questions like for people around you. If you don't know anything, just ask and just have a open mind, be open-minded, and then I think your university life will be quite great. Yeah.
Nice. How about Matthew?
Can we pass to Javier first?
Okay, Javier, you're like the darker here.
Yeah.
Any tips for not just incoming, but also for us?
For us, I need some tips from
who
you actually.
are still in uni.
Alright, okay, this is for you guys. You guys should know already, okay, have an end in mind. Okay, know what you want to do at the end of university, because the university is a time for you to, for me, like, at least it's not playing time, it's for me to go and get a good career. So if you know what you want to do already, every internship you do, you're very specific to that outcome. Alright, so don't waste time, you're going to achieve that. And that, with that end in mind also, you might want to play less in hall, because hall can be quite time consuming and not very productive. Yeah, so just take note of this. Okay, all right.
Matthew, okay, I can go first. I'll talk about I think one more question is also related about the CUs, MCs, this kind of thing. So I think that one thing you can do, right, like right now, any stage in which year you're, right, is plan your mods. Like you mod map from the beginning. I think like if you know what you want to do, even if you don't know what you want to do, right, actually you can mod map your beginning year 1, year 2 stuff first. So actually I think that like one thing you can do is plan ahead. So if you know you're going to go into banking, let's make sure that you know that you're going to take your major core finance mods in the beginning early on so that you have more time to strategize. And also, when I say plan from the beginning, means plan your CCAs and plan your internships as well. And yeah, do more lah. Try to take part in more CCAs. Try to do internship every summer. I think like a lot of year ones, they think that, oh, I don't need to do internship during my first year summer. I think that's a misconception lah. You can actually, like a lot of people in year one, I did nothing. Like my summer, right, I sleep, which is not the right thing lah. I feel like you can do a lot, and like it doesn't have to be very time intensive. You can like literally just join more CCAs, clear your OCIP first, clear your other CCA stuff first. You just do something, don't waste your summers. Yeah. Anyway, Matthew or Vanessa?
Matthew?
Yeah. Okay. So Javier's laughing. I'm not sure why lah. One tip I guess that really just go and find your seniors When you find your seniors, like for example, you're gonna take a mod, accounting 101. Go and ask your seniors, do you all have notes for this? Then they'll give you all their notes, and then maybe even if they have like a bit of those pre-course quiz the answers, maybe they can keep you up or something like that. It will all help because all these have grades and it will help you understand. So obviously don't go and just copy for the sake of it lah. I mean, none of us do that, right?
Yeah.
But I just feel like go and resource for as much external resources as you can before the module, so at least you can familiarize a bit if you want to, or if not, even during the lessons or what, you at least have some external notes that people have already gone through and understood. It will all help you lah.
Yeah, and this becomes easier once you have seniors and friends who help you. So I really agree, and that's why SGExams is also really here for you guys to send you guys some notes and be like a pool of resources for you. So I think it's best for SGExams to explain all these. Okay, for myself, my one tip, right, is to network as much as you can, because not just offline. So if you have networking events in school, don't just go and attend. Talk to people as well, not just your own schoolmates, but also guests who are coming to give the talks and all that. Get some of the contacts and then follow up with them online. So LinkedIn is a really good platform. If you guys don't have it already, do create an account, brush it up with your work experience, and I really encourage you to do that, because a lot of your jobs, right, would come from these networks, or at least they can be your referrals in the case of very competitive internships. Yeah, so now it's time check now. It's 9:02, so we still got a couple more questions, but unfortunately we can't really answer all of them today. If you have any more burning questions, you can drop SGExams a DM on Instagram. So maybe Kathleen, you can leave the SGExams Instagram handle in the chat room, and for the rest of us, we'll leave our Instagram handle so you can privately message us after this Zoom call if you have any more questions, be it now or a few weeks later as well. So I wish all of you guys very all the best for the start of uni, and you're gonna enjoy university life a lot, right? So any last words, guys?
All the best.
Yeah. Anyway, like touch base on like how do you apply for internships? There's last thing. There's this thing called Glint or Intern SG. If you really want to self-source them, and I think most schools have a platform to look for internships. Like I think SME is on track. I think you also have they have your internal internship system. So I think that's how you find internships, and don't be afraid to just apply lah. Even if you have no experience, right? I think you can just start on the smaller ones first. Yeah. So in that regard, just connect with us on our Instagrams or LinkedIn. I think that you
let's for the panelists, let's leave our Instagram handles so they can follow up with any questions, and also SGExams handle. Okay, so before we end this session, I encourage you guys to switch on your webcam so you can take a group photo for our
if you're not shy, but
you're
yeah.
not shy. So
not,
switch on your webcam and you can take a screenshot. Don't price it, guys.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yay!
Alright, this is the time to have fun, man.
It's okay. Y'all can talk to us also. Like you have any y'all can. I guess we can unmute. How do we unmute everybody?
Let's unmute.
Guys.
Yeah, y'all, if you don't have any questions, or you can just like feel free to ask us.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hi Ben, I cannot
Let us
on
know that you guys exist.
Sorry,
you
I
can
cannot
on
on
the
my
video. Oh man, can you put your picture there?
So everyone's unmuted. So if you don't be shy, just sit on the webcam and keep a screenshot.
Yeah, it'd be real cool, man. Then we'll have it on SGExams.
Everyone's so shy.
Sorry, I
Okay.
can't because the host has stopped. I cannot turn on my video.
Oh,
It's okay.
do you ban the video thing? Oh wait, one second.
Alright.
Uh,
Oh, the
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Serious.
It's fine.
Alright, nice. We see you.
Ah,
mm,
I'm
Alright.
very curious
Are you
on
in
how I only want to listen looks like.
yeah, if you have any questions you want to ask us, just ask
Yeah.
us straight up.
I just
Right.
DM Ben already.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Great,
So,
yeah. Any questions there? Okay.
yeah.
Okay, seems like everyone's quite shy, but it's okay. Let's take a
let's
photo.
go.
Just with at least the panelists. Better than nothing.
Okay, fine. Anyway, thanks for joining us today. If you have any other questions, you all can just DM us on Instagram, specific to our universities, and I think that's it. Anyway, we might be doing more of this in the future. So yeah, I hope you had fun in university, and thanks for joining us. Okay, bye.
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 Okay, can we end?
Yes, guys.
Bye.
sorry, for those of you who are still here, I'm just gonna do a quick sharing of my screen. Oh, okay, so I'm just gonna do a bit of a short sharing about SGExams. So basically, SGExams is all in one place for like any questions you might have. As they mentioned earlier, there are a lot of resources that you can get, and usually you can find them on our different platforms. So our different platforms, they also actually draw a lot of students from different levels. So one of these groups are actually people who are studying university. So you will actually be able to find like different seniors from different universities on our platforms, which you can find more about through our Instagram or our Reddit. So as you can see, our Instagram handle at SGExams. So if you have any questions, you can DM us there, or you can learn more about us there as well. So for another thing that I would like to ask you guys for your help with is to help us to fill up a feedback form. So this is so that we can better improve our programs if we run anything similar in the future. So I will leave the link in the chat as well. Let me find the chat. Yeah. So you can also scan the QR code. Oh, yeah. Not sure why I cannot access the chat. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen first. And yeah, the link is in the chat box, so you can check it there as well.
Okay, yeah. So one thing I can say is that I think SGExams they have a pool of notes, but I think most schools they also have their own internal system of notes. So for mine we are seniors, we have this whole Google Drive of notes. So actually, if you ask the seniors, you know that there's this every mod in particular have notes and exam material. So yeah, if you have those, it's actually extremely helpful.
Yep, so I think this comes to the end of our session. Kathleen from SGExam have left a Google link, a form link in the chat room, so do fill it up. And thank you so much for spending your Saturday night with us, and we hope you enjoyed this Q&A session. Leave us any questions after this via Instagram if you do. And thank you so much to Javier, Mana, and Matthew for joining us on this live stream as well, and really appreciate it. So thank you guys so much, and have a very good night.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye guys.